Whitney Houston had the kind of voice that seemed almost impossible. She was beautiful, successful, award-winning. And for years, she appeared to have everything. Her songs dominated the charts. Her movies became global hits. And when Whitney sang, millions of people stopped to listen. But behind that extraordinary voice was a life becoming increasingly complicated. A turbulent marriage, enormous pressure, a private struggle with drugs, attempts to get clean, a comeback that millions of fans desperately wanted to succeed. And then, a shocking ending at just 48 years old. So what really happened behind the fame? How did a young gospel singer from New Jersey become one of the greatest voices of her generation? And why did her life become so difficult behind the scenes? This is the story of Whitney Houston. Welcome to Sophia Untold Stories. Whitney Elizabeth Houston was born in Newark, New Jersey, on August 9, 1963. Music surrounded her. From the beginning, her mother, Sissy Houston, was an accomplished gospel and soul singer. And Whitney grew up singing in church. The Recording Academy records that Whitney's 1985 debut album eventually reached #1 and produced 3 chart-topping singles: "At Saving All My Love for You," the "How Will I Know," and "Greatest Love of All." Before that fame arrived, Whitney sang background vocals and even worked as a model. Then music executive Clive Davis saw her perform in New York in 1983. He recognized something extraordinary and signed her to Arista Records. That relationship would help shape her career for decades. And then her career exploded. Her debut made Whitney a star. But the success didn't stop there. She became a dominant force in pop and R&B, known not only for the power of her voice, but for how effortless she could make difficult songs sound. Then came The Bodyguard. In 1992, she married singer Bobby Brown. Then behind closed doors, Whitney's drug use was becoming more serious. She even lived in denial.
I'm 5'7" and thin. I can understand what you mean, what you feel. I can believe that. But do you really know? Did you really know? No way.
Bulimia?
No way. No. Now, I grant you, I partied. But there have been times when I know I was going through a lot of emotional stress and my eating habits were awful. Whitney, one thing straight, crack is cheap. I make too much money to ever smoke crack. Let's get that straight, okay? We don't do crack. We don't do that. Crack is whack.
What Whitney described was very different from the image the world had watched on television. And behind the awards, the beautiful dresses and one of the greatest voices in music. She was struggling, and the people closest to Whitney were becoming increasingly concerned. Her family tried to intervene, and Whitney went through treatment. But recovery was not simple or immediate. She and Bobby Brown eventually divorced in 2007. Then something happened that many fans had been waiting for. Whitney tried to come back. In 2009, she released I Look to You. She returned to interviews and performances, and she was 48 years old. Her death was later ruled an accidental drowning, with heart disease and cocaine use listed as contributing factors. For millions of people, it was difficult to believe. This was Whitney Houston, and this has been Sophia Untold Stories.